Okay, so good afternoon everybody. We're running a little bit late. I will try and make this as quick as possible, or you can hold on to me to get all the questions you want. So Ioana was correct. So my background is in originally financial services, about 16, 17 years. I now work for Atos. I got asked to present use cases that I've been working on. I guess I'm actually going to present real projects, real content, and there are three. I'm not going to explain one, I'm going to present three. And Valerie's, if he's still in the room, yeah, his presentation was the perfect setup for this presentation. So just a hands up, who here knows about Atos? Great, okay, you'd be surprised how many few people do, because we're quite secretive as an organization. I'm going to talk about three examples which feed off the work our scientific community do. So earlier in January, we released a white paper. Our scientific community is it's just over 100 people. They're data scientists, lead technology thought leaders, etc. And they're talking about where we are today and where we're going, and the key things that the world should be experiencing over the coming few months and years. So, glad to say, the three things I'm going to talk about now, they nicely tie into what the hell they wrote back in January. So the first thing I want to talk about, the first use case is around patient biosensors. Now Valerie talked about all that wonderful tech and all those sensors, and he talked about that wonderful, wonderful serotonin. Okay, there's a different way you can do it. Yeah. But the key thing here, the critical thing, is all these sensors. The world today, George Osborne announced an increase in the NHS budget, so 120 billion. 90% of all NHS visits are stress-related. Serotonin is a pre-marker for stress, but so are ECG and heart rate. And how do you then get around this whole, you got 90 billion of cost in the NHS, that you have a predictive measure around stress? Wouldn't it be great if you had a sensor that predicted stress? So this is the world's first predictor of stress. It arrived this morning on a shipment from, better not say where. It's actually a dementia watch. So this thing, if you strap it on, will track your loved ones, will tell you if they start acting irrationally, if they start walking around outside a specific boundary. Monitors heart rate, monitors ECG. It doesn't need a mobile phone, unlike your Apple Watches, etc. There are only really two decent sensors in the world. This one and the Samsung Gear. Yeah, because that has a SIM card in it. So there's about 4 of these also in the world. This is a prototype. So I'm guarding it. You can have a look, you can have a play with it later. But this stuff is for real. And in patient biosensors, I'm being asked to come up with new and ingenious ways to lower down healthcare costs, to improve research and development of pharmaceuticals. $600 million to get to get a drug up and running. It's never the drug that really kills you, it's the dosage. So these types of things can help improve pharmaceuticals. Therefore, if you're a retailer in the room, your cost to serve, the cost of product should dramatically crash. Yeah? So, lots of benefits. Sproutling is a baby version of this, which also has been worked on. Sproutling is an American firm. They set up, they had a great idea. It's a baby monitor, straps onto the child's ankle. They sold out, and for the last year you cannot get one of those. They raised $14 million. It was $12 million or $14 million last round of funding. I've been on the waiting list because I want to see this product. I've been on the waiting list. My baby is 1 year old and I've been on it for 18 months. So this stuff's in demand. How it all works? Well, watches, sensors like this send it through to family and friends. It also sends it through to the doctor. And we're running real live use cases, proof of concepts in Atos Valerie talked about connected T-shirts. Yeah, we've got a connected T-shirt. We use it more to understand employee behaviour if they're crouching at desks. Because back-related pain is a huge thing for employers. Okay? So all the tech, all the stuff is there. Great thing is you're on top of it. Use case 1, tick, done. The second is connected packaging. Now I'm going to talk about connected packaging because my presentation is called An Immovable Object Meets an Unstoppable Force. So I'm going to talk about if you're a retailer or you have a roll around retail, those two major opposing ends. Okay? And then it'll hopefully come through in why I've presented this thing. So on one hand, you've got Adidas, Nike, Renke, Benckiser, etc., producing lots and lots of product, but they don't know their customer. They try on a digital transformation perspective to get to know their customer via focus groups, digital marketing agencies, etc., but they do not know their customer inside out on a one-to-one basis. Okay. Now, within connected packaging, and what we're doing, what we're seeing, is individuals want to authenticate if the product is real. And today that's done via QR codes or something, but it's easily hackable, replicatable, yeah? There's some cryptography that's been used, but separate main one here is tamper-proof seals. So you put it on and you break it, and it could be holograms, etc. Now my thoughts and the Atos scientific community's thoughts is, hold on a second, why can't we just combine the two of them? But that's not great, because digital transformation is all about business reinvention. It's all about security, compliance, it's around operational excellence, etc. So going back to my point around trying to get close to customers, well, your product's in your back. And the technology now is available where you've got NFC on those tags. Okay, so now you've got a shoe box, very expensive. Imagine church's shoes. You don't want to spend £250 on a pair of shoes, find out they're fake or counterfeit. So the idea here is that the NFC, now, new world with this type of thing, you go down, or your smartphone, tap down on it, and the cryptography works. It'll go through and it'll say, yes, this is an authentic piece of product, okay? But it doesn't stop there, because the reinvention is you've now made a one-to-one connection with the customer, with the consumer. Whatever firm that is, that retailer now has a one-to-one connection, because it's cryptography. It's a one-to-one authentication. So they now know what mobile phone, they now know if you've built out the applications, etc. They now have a one-to-one relationship. And how that then works is you start understanding, okay, well, is it typical upsell, cross-sell, churn, promotion, clout, engagement. Clout is something I'm seeing a huge amount of engagement on in this area, because clearly if you've got somebody who's buying your product and they have a big NPS engagement level, how do you then upsell, cross-sell to them? Give away product actually for free. Drive them forward. The cost of these tags ranges from about 15 cents to 30 cents, depending on how advanced you want that cryptography. Okay, so it's not a massive amount. And the costs are obviously decreasing as more and more people are getting this forward. And my last use case, the more exciting actually one as far as I'm concerned, is it actually all stems from rubbish. And what it's about are labels, shelf labels. We all see them, we look at them, yeah? But for me, they're an opportunity, for Atos, they're an opportunity to digitally reinvent the whole shopping experience. Why? Because there's a lot of wastage, hence rubbish. There's a lot of wastage in the world. Okay? Now, it wouldn't be great if you could turn those labels into an electronic format. And we have them. They've been around for a while. Electronic shelf labels. Yeah? Do I need to explain electronic shelf labels? So, few nodding, few confused looks. So what I'll say is, typically, yeah, that's just a small little LCD screen. And you're able to electronically change it. yeah, from a command center. And electronic shelf labels have been around a little while. Not too many people have gotten onto them. Those who have moved, early disruptive movers have used them for promotions. And then they've moved on to stock levels, because you can start understanding stock levels as you change the price. Yeah? Staff savings. You don't have to spend an hour filling these things and changing every time you do a promotion. It's instantaneous. Receipting. How many people go to a point of sale, pay, look at the receipt and go, crikey, it's wrong. They forgot that 2-for-1 offer, etc. So it's joined up. And you can do lots and lots of analytics. Yeah, the good stuff. Such as churn. So electronic shelf labeling, the whole digital experience, you can do churn. And therefore reduce waste. Yeah? So, if you're really, really thought-provoking, you do demand forecasting. Well, if that's my churn, that's what I'm doing, X, Y, Z. I now can optimize my supply chain, because there's so much stuff that's kicked out and thrown away. But now I'm thinking, well, actually, with NFC, or the previous connected packaging, what now opens up from an IoT perspective? Because it's all about the customer. The customer experience, to be frank. So now you can upsell and cross-sell. Why? Because you would go into a shop, you would go to that electronic shelf label, you would tap down on it, phone, watch, sensor, whatever. And now it knows you've made that connection. Okay, so Valerie, Alan, Frank, James, John, Ioana comes in here. I understand everything you always buy, therefore you can tell me what tolerances you have and you don't. So my brother is a celiac, so he used to avoid flour, like the plague, or he gets really, really sick. So it would be really good if he went in, tapped on an electronic shelf label with his phone, etc., and I said, here you go, you can't have this. Also comes into the really exciting piece around dietary wants. How many people are bad cooks? Because this whole thing, when you've tapped on one, flour, you've tapped on eggs, you've tapped on sugar, caster sugar, it now knows pretty much you want to be baking a cake, potentially. But also you can tell it what you're trying to buy or trying to do. And it'll say this aisle, this label, this shelf, X, Y, Z, and it'll build the menu for you. An entire end-to-end experience. Ultimately, though, as a retailer, you're trying to drive people online. Because now you've built the digital fingerprint, the whole thing that you want. Oh, and by the way, that is an electronic shelf label. And that is in situ in a UK store right now. So there is one major retailer doing exactly what I've just said right now. So it should be coming to a shop near you in the next few months. Okay? This stuff is for real. And that's my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Questions?
What I'd say is kind of single, communication going on between different things. But what about the kind of discussions between things? So how does that play into your case? That why isn't that talking to the other thing before you even get there?
So use cases are being not worked up, they're being done. So it's a very, very good point. And I would say it's the internet. This all folds around the Internet of One. Internet of Things, Internet of One. So the capability does exist today, and I'm more than happy to talk about how you would do it, and I'll hand you the technology to do it, where this thing recognises you're getting a bit of a temperature. It's flu season. It recognises the digital fingerprint. Yeah, you're getting a cold. It'll talk to your medical dispensary, and actually, yes, I have a medical dispensary I can sell you. And it'll check, do you have that medication? If that doesn't have the medication, it'll go online, the machine, and order you the medication, which by the time you realise, gosh, I'm coming down with a cold, there's a guy at the door saying, here you go. That's all achievable today. And a proof of concept can be set up less than 3 months.
Any other questions? Great, I think you must have answered everything.
Grab me later. I'll be around for drinks. Okay.
All right.
And you can touch and play with this. Cheers.